Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, very, very good question.
Yeah, this is a very good question.
Oh my gosh. That's such a good question.
Oh, that's a great question.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question, Zanger.
It's a great question.
It's a great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Really good question.
Gosh, this question to me, I hate this question.
That's a loaded question. But okay.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for your support of Indie Agency News. Let's meet an indie agency. We're going to New York. Peyton Sutton.
What's up?
Or as we pronounce it in South Jersey, Peyton Sutton. So all of you South Jersey, Philly people, just send your complaints to
Peyton.
Nice. All right, so Terri and Sandy. Gosh, where do we even begin with this? Let's do this first. Give us a little bit of the thumbnail, the little snapshot. It's got a very rich history, so give us a little bit of the background of the agency real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So Terri Meyer and Sandy Greenberg, long-term creative partners. They have been partners, believe it or not, for 46 years, which blows my mind every single time I hear that. They were behind what I like to call some of the most enduring campaigns in advertising. So think of Oreo, Milk's favorite cookie, a lot of the Super Bowl planners work, a lot of work that when you think of like classically great advertising, Terri and Sandy were behind a ton of it. They'd been at all the big agencies. They'd done the big agency thing for many years, and they were really excited about the idea of bringing creativity to clients faster, easier, and better, and just kind of got sick of all the big agency bullshit and decided to go out on their own and found their own thing and formed Terri and Sandy 14 years ago. I think something super interesting about it is it's creatively founded and led. There aren't a lot of agencies that I can think of that didn't come with a business partner or a strategist. Like it's just the creatives at the helm. And I think that's been very much a part of our success and what's made us different. And 14 years later, we sit here and have had many iconic brands that we've partnered with. We've won a ton of awards. We've had a lot of great success. And I'm relatively new at Terri and Sandy. Terri recently announced her retirement, and I'm coming in to think about the next 14.
Right, exactly. So off to Del Boca Vista.
Yeah. Wherever we're going.
Wherever, but no, and it is one of those things where it you mentioned 46 years, and yeah, that's a lot. But I also know it's so interesting about them too is that that doesn't seem that long, because, and the reason I say that is they had this philosophy and this way of approaching things, and I'm out here in Portland, and so I think that what I've often appreciated, one of the many things I've often appreciated about the two of them and by the transitive property of the agency in general is that they take the business seriously. They don't necessarily take themselves too seriously, and I think that definitely shows in the work. And you touched on a few things that the agency definitely some highlights of the agency. What would you say? And every agency has this list of stuff that they're very good at, but usually a few bubble up to the top. What would you say are the top 3 core strengths of the agency?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you see the fun that's coming through both in the people and in the work. That's awesome. That's really important to us. But when I think about our superpowers, what are the things that we really, really shine at and stand out on? I think it's doing some of the basic classic principles of advertising incredibly well. So our brand strategy is second to none. I think our brand strategy hits every single time. We have the kinds of insights that everybody needs to create really interesting breakthrough work. They're insights that are simple, clear, clever. They're evergreen. Our head of strategy, Tracy Chapman, I think she is the best in the business. She's been recognized as such. And I think having such a strong strategic core really helps separate us from the others. But of course, that goes nowhere without the right big idea. And that's where I think Terri and Sandy's background and the way that they have created such a creative environment here and really focused on building brand platforms that endure. I think a lot of the work that we do endures and it stands the test of time. And it's ideas that go the distance and really, really build brands in a way that not a lot of other agencies are doing these days. So I think that kind of having that really strong creative acumen, of course, is a differentiator for us. But one thing that's been really interesting to me, and again, I'm relatively new in this role, is there's also this foundation of relationships that are at the core of all that we do. So a couple of interesting things, like 95% of our new business comes in from former clients, which is,
makes
of
sense.
course, the highest compliment that you can get. And that means a lot to us. But we've also got 3 of our original 5 employees are still sitting here 14 years later, too. So when we get people, we keep people. The relationships really matter a lot to us.
No, that makes sense. Now you were at Curiosity in Cincinnati, which is obviously a proud independent. They're members as well as you are. Thank you for your support of that. Talk about and when I look at your CV, British term, actually, I guess it's Latin, but the Brits like using it a lot. So
what's the South Jersey term for CV? That's what we need.
Job paper. I don't know. I don't know what a CV is. Yeah. Talk about independence though, because your entire career and Terri and Sandy were at the bigger agencies.
Yeah.
But you've primarily been independent. So talk about the importance of being independent and why it's important for the team to be independent.
Totally. Yeah. I've always been on the small independent side and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think a couple things, that are really important to the team when they think about our independence is there's a different level of ownership that comes with being with a small indie agency. And I think that we're really intentional about finding people that are entrepreneurial at heart and are of course incredibly good at what their core craft is, but are also exciting about being a builder and building something special and something exciting and feel real ownership in that. And there's just opportunity to do that at a small agency that there just doesn't exist when you're at a bigger shop, right? You can do things that are above and to the right of and to the left of and below your job description every single day. But there's real opportunity to create impact and to kind of chart your own path that I think people are really attracted to. I think too, people, one benefit that comes with being an indie is like, there are no set rules for how you have to do things. And I think when Terri and Sandy created this agency, they didn't have to have a lot of process or a lot of rigor that might come with a big agency. And that's carried through today. It's like, we don't have a lot of operational rigor or a lot of process. We actually don't even have a project management team, which has been kind of interesting to me to figure out, but it's because creativity is everything. And I think that it's easy to do that at an indie and people are really excited about just being able to like focus on the work and letting their thinking shine and not worry about all the other stuff.
Well, and I will say to that point, so what else, and this is, I guess, a corporate term, the multi-hyphenate person, where I've noticed that Terri and Sandy, there are so many like well-established and highly accomplished people who are creative, but they also team up on ensuring that projects run really smoothly. So there's that creative / project manager-ish / produce. So it occurs to me that the type of people that are at, and I see this in a lot of smaller independent shops, but you're right, like not necessarily having that practice is one thing, but you make up for it in a lot of different ways by having people who really understand the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And nobody's going to let a ball drop because everybody's got that ownership and like really feels that ownership in the agency. And so everybody does whatever it takes to get the job done. But I think what's nice is it's flexible and it's fluid and it's different every single time with every single client and every single challenge. And so that's fun because each time you feel like you're kind of learning something, you're contributing in a different way. So you get to see both the outcome, but also contribute to like how the sausage is made. And I think people get really excited about that. You can't get excited about sausage, you know.
Well, I was in Iceland recently, and the sausage there is delicious. I just
Okay.
all the food there is delicious. So
So I found somebody who does get excited about sausage.
I mean, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Let's talk about why a brand should work with you. What's the main reason a brand should work with Terri and Sandy?
Yeah. Well, I can name a lot, but I think, let me start. The two I think that really bubble to the top are the two biggest compliments that we get from our clients are first, they always just say, "Oh my God, you guys are so easy to work with." We feel like we just have a direct line to you or to Sandy or to whoever we need. You respond quickly, you over deliver, you give counsel that we don't ask for. And I think that it's really striking for people to be at a creatively led agency and just kind of see how different that process looks. And they get really, really excited about that. I think that's kind of like the how piece of it, but the what, why people call us. I think people see the endurance of our creative ideas. And if they're up against a bigger brand or a bigger budget and they need something that really kind of stacks the deck in their favor, they know that they've got to have the right idea that packs a punch. And so the phones ring in because of those ideas, but then I think people stay because of how easy we are to work with, and they feel like they really have fun with us along the way too.
That helps.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I say rules 1 through 10 with this thing is have fun.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, this business should be fun. Like we're not accountants,
Yeah. We're not here gargling glass. We shouldn't have to. Yeah.
We're not making sausage.
Oh my God. So good. Oh man, usually I don't get thrown off like that, but that was an excellent retort. An excellent retort. Let's talk about talent. Why should talent be putting the agency on their list?
Yeah. Well, we're really fortunate, of course, to be in New York. So we are at the heart of the talent pool for creatives and strategists. But I think, again, being able to chart your own path and feel ownership in the agency is something that I think people get really excited about. You're also able to contribute to work day one. So, I was in a meeting yesterday and it was the interns. They just started this week and they were presenting creative ideas to me and to Sandy. So you're not going to get that experience if you go to a lot of other places. So being able to kind of be at the heart of the work, I think is really interesting and exciting to people. I also think, the ownership component of both the agency, but also your career path. I've seen so much interesting growth in people. Like one of our creative directors is a Georgetown educated attorney by trade. And he was really interested in coming to.
Wait, who is that? Who is
Todd
that?
Bondi? Do you know Todd?
Yeah, I know Todd. Yeah.
Oh, good.
We've had Todd on. Yeah.
Amazing.
I remember that. Right.
So Todd's one of our OG employees. He's one of our first 5. And he came in the door and just said, "Hey, I'm interested in a creative career. I have nothing on my resume that's going to indicate that I'm going to be a great creative." And we saw something in him and they saw something in him and brought him in and invested in him. And he is one of our most talented and awarded creative directors. And so I think that that's a real benefit to people. Like the investment that we make in our talent and the ability to chart your own path is something that makes this place really special.
Well, you saw Georgetown Law, so you got to take a flyer on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, believe me, we definitely wheel that out as often as we can. We're like, well, Todd went to Georgetown, so of course, everything.
So did John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. So we'll leave it at that. Let's talk. This is my favorite part. Is this a little bit of a thought exercise? Whether they are an existing client or not, who is a CMO or marketer you want to say hello to?
Oh, I love this. So I thought you're really making me think here because, God, there's a lot I could choose from. But I want to say hi to Melanie Hewitt. Melanie is the president of brand marketing and innovation at Newell, and she's one of our clients. She leads the Yankee Candle business. And
okay.
She's amazing. She's a woman that I really admire. I had a great conversation with her just yesterday and told her how much I admire her. And we're doing some great work. And she's just a powerhouse. So hi, Melanie. Thank you for all that you do. And thanks for believing in us for this important work. We're really excited.
So will Yankee Candle ever do because there's many years ago, and we're seeing this now a lot more.
Yeah.
Where kettle chips, they had special flavors. Do they take requests?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. So there are like
I'll tell you,
What do you
if you did Jersey Shore
Jersey Shore.
sold that in Pennsylvania, New York, in the tri-state area, I'm telling you,
Game over for Yankee Candle.
I'm telling you, brand lift. I'm telling you, lots of sales. If you
Yeah.
did Jersey Shore, that would be awesome.
Okay. Well,
That's a
I think I need
freebie.
to redo my hello then. Hey, Melanie, guess what? We have a great idea for you that's going to change
Down
the
the shore.
of your business. Sure.
But what an interesting brand, because it occupies such a unique place
Mhm.
where it can, people do kind of poke a little fun at it at times.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's such an amazing strength, but they know who they are.
Yeah. They do. Yeah. It's a really interesting brand because, to your point, there is a brand reputation, there's a brand heritage, and their awareness is not a challenge for that brand. But I think perception is like, that's a perception that we're working against in some of our work, is to kind of reignite that brand and think about how to modernize it. Scent, of course.
I see. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, scent,
But everybody likes Yankee. It's like everybody
everybody
likes
likes
Yankee.
it.
No one's like, oh, Yankee. I mean, it's a great. You're right. Everybody knows Yankee Candle.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I think there was a lot of innovation in scent during COVID because everybody was burning candles 24/7. And so a lot of other competition popped up. So it's like, okay, we know Yankee, we love Yankee. How do we continue to keep people feeling that same way? And so I guess it's in the Jersey Shore scent. I think we got it. So
Here's the other one then, because now we got a baseball one. So you do Phillies Candle.
Oh,
I'm a Philadelphia fan. So
wait, what does that smell like? What does that smell like, though?
You don't want to know. You really don't want to know. Oh God, I'll leave it at that. But it sounds, and this is what I've noticed too, is that all the work, we go back to this fun thing.
Yeah.
And I think that there's one thing about saying that it's fun, but what I've noticed about the agency, and especially the creative talent, is there is this accessible confidence, right? Where it's like, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing the thing. And you know what? If it works, cool. If it doesn't, as we're building it and it doesn't work, we're going to shift. It seems so flexible and just seems so convivial, fancy word there. But it just seems like a place where you can breathe and do your best work.
Totally. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, I love to hear people's perception of the agency too. And I think that's something that we would love for people to feel, because we very much feel that internally. And I think honestly, that goes back to being creatively founded, right? Because like creatives want to say yes to everything and they don't care how much it costs or what it's going to take to get it done. And so there's a lot of yes that happens here versus a lot of no that happens here when it comes to ideas. Right. So I think when you come from a place of yes and a place of possibility, then that's where great ideas can really thrive.
Right. I love it. I love it.
Well, listen, creatives love working here because they're like, I hear yes instead of no.
I hear yes. Yes. I know. No, it's so great. So great. Well, Peyton, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much. I did stay away from University of Florida and football.
Oh, good.
On purpose. So I bailed you out on that one. I decided to bail you out on that one, but honestly, congratulations. And and again, this history of yours with independent agencies, I think, is great. And we love the Curiosity folks, and what a great way to start and then move into this next phase. So congratulations, number one, on your appointment. I think that you've landed in such a great spot, and I really look forward to seeing what you do in the future. And we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here and really proud to continue to represent the indie community. There's just so many special and supportive people here, and super excited for the future of Terri and Sandy for sure. I appreciate you having me on. This has been super fun.